Hello friends, welcome to Selenium WebDriver training session 38. This is Haradhan once again as usual. Today in this session I will discuss about WebDriver event listeners in Selenium. Thank you all for watching my videos. In case you are enjoying my videos and learning automation testing and Java, please like and share my videos. Do not forget to subscribe my channel and press the bell icon so that you will get notification as and when I will upload any new videos. Do not forget to provide your valuable comment for an input or suggestion. Stay tuned for my next videos. So whenever you are doing any scripting, right, or creating any test cases with the help of Selenium WebDriver or TestNG, and you are not using the listener class, right? So whenever from the report perspective, you can't customize the report. So whenever you want to customize the report, right, and so that like each and every step you want to know what are the events they are triggering. If you want to get the information, you have to use the listener interface available in the Selenium WebDrivers. Okay, there are two different type of listener classes there. One is the WebDriver listener class and in the TestNG listener class. Okay, so WebDriver event listener is fundamentally an interface which is implemented by the class to override the method written inside it. In general, listeners' work is to listen to the event and behave accordingly to the definition given by the defined methods. Listeners are mainly used to create effective logging and reporting in Selenium. They basically modify the default behavior of the driver. Okay, so when in case you are not adding the listeners interface, then obviously effective logging and reporting is not possible. Okay, in any framework, either you are using Selenium WebDriver or TestNG, so you have to use corresponding listeners interface. With the help of WebDriver, we are able to trigger a lot of event on the browser and web element. Suppose if you want to navigate to a particular URL, right? If you want to click and enter some value in the web edit box. If you want to click a link, right? If you want to click a button, if you want to back, forward, right? If you want to go to a, accept a particular alert, okay? If you go to different window, so all the operation you can perform, right? Okay, but to keep a track of all the events that are triggered while execution and debugging, when execution is complete, we need to use the listener class. So, and what does it mean by event? An event is an action performed on web page element using Selenium WebDrivers. Action like finding element, clicking an element, navigating to URL, raising an exception, changing the value of the in a field, navigating back, forth, and executing a JavaScript, right? So event listeners are a set of functions in Selenium that waits for an event to occur. That event may be user when clicking or finding or changing some value or an exception. The listeners are programmed to react to an input or signal. So how we can use event listener, right, in Selenium WebDriver? So first we need to create any class with any name which need to implement, where we need to implement WebDriver event listeners interface. Okay, because class to class extend is not possible, you already know. Okay, so whenever we want to implement use any class to an interface, we need to use the implements word, right? So class can implement to an interface. After that we need to create another class, Java class, where we will write the steps, right, whatever you want to perform. Then we need to create a object for the WebDriver listener class, whatever you created, right? Okay, then we need to create an object for event firing WebDrivers, which will accept the parameters driver. Then we need to register the listeners into the event firing WebDriver object. After that we need to create the script using that particular object, right, whatever we created for event firing WebDriver. So now let's create a simple class. So here, Selenium training project, the WebDriver training is there, package is there. So I am using a simple class. Okay, test listener. I will using that particular public static void main. Okay, here I want to write some steps. Okay, and here we need to import the WebDriver interface and Chrome driver class from the org.7 openqa.selenium packages, right? After that, I can pass driver.get. Here I can pass the URL. Suppose I want to open Facebook. Okay, then I want to navigate to Google. Say after opening the Facebook, I want to navigate to Google. Okay, then navigate dot. Okay, it will be to navigate dot to driver dot navigate dot to, right. So I am navigating to Google URL. Then I am again driver dot navigate dot back. I am again backing. I mean navigate back to the Facebook. After that I am again navigate forward. Okay, and then after so Facebook page is open, right? Because I have opened the Facebook page, then I am navigating to Google and again navigating to the Facebook page. Then I want to refresh it. Divert dot navigate dot refresh the page. So obviously Facebook page will be there. Now I want to enter some value in the email field. Say so I need to inspect the element. To please press F12 button from the keyboard. After that you need to inspect the element. So here name is email, right? So I can use that particular attribute divert dot find element by dot name. Name is email. I want to enter some value. So dot send keys. Email dot send keys. So I want to enter test 123. Similarly for the password field I want to enter some value here. So here name is password. Divert dot pass. Suppose test 123 4 5 I want to enter in the password field. After that I want to quit the driver. Okay, so many step I have written here, but I am not want to I did not using any SYSO print method, right? So that is the reason in the console no output will be there. Okay, so let's run the code and let's see what is happening. Obviously my test case will be running but no output will be there in my console, right? So it will launch the Chrome browser, it will maximize the browser, it will pass the URL for Facebook, and after that it will again navigate to the Google page, and again it will navigate back to Facebook page. So it's after launching the Facebook page, so again it will navigate back to the Google page. After again it will try to navigate to the Facebook page, and again it will refresh the page. After that it will enter email and ID password field, and then it will quit the browser. Okay, so my script is run, right? But I am not able to see whether my script is working or not at every step, because you have to validate only from the screen level. But suppose you want to run the script but you don't want to see the validation right in the screen level, but in the console you want to get the attribute, right? So you can easily know whether it is pass or fail. So here you can see it is not possible, right, through this normal script execution, okay, in the using Selenium WebDriver. So that is the reason you have to use the listener class, okay, so that each and every event whatever is triggering, you are triggering, right, or user is triggering, so for each and every event some output will be there in the console, right? So for effective logging and reporting in Selenium WebDriver, we have to use the WebDriver event listener class, right? So I will create a class named WebDriver listener helper. So here I will create another class in the WebDriver training package, new class, okay, WebDriver helper. So I am not select the public static void main. So that particular class need to implement, right, the WebDriver event listener interface, okay. So I will use that word implements, and that interface need to be implemented, WebDriver event listener. Now some error message is coming, right? You need to import first WebDriver event listener from org.openq.support.events. After that, whenever you are implementing any interface, you know interface is consisting of the abstract method, right? So you have to use and implement all the methods, okay. So you can see whatever method is available for that particular WebDriver event listener interface, all is coming here, right? Okay. So here in the script whatever we have written in the test listener, so we are not accepting any, right, alert. So I will not write any output, the alert part, that dismiss, okay. But for rest of the part I want to display some value, suppose element click on, element click, okay. Similar way for each and every methods, right, element found. The next screenshot here we are not taking, also we are not taking the thing. So here I can print it out, the argument dot any value, right, I can use it. So argument dot, if you press dot you can see lot of option will be coming, right? Argument, you can get the title, you can get the current URL, right? So whatever you want to do it, you can do it, right, from using the argument. Suppose I want to get the current URL, okay. Similarly after forwarding also, whenever it will be forwarded, I want to get the current URL, okay. Similarly refresh method I have used, so I want to get the current URL here also. Similarly after navigate to, I want to get some output, so suppose navigation successful, okay. Similarly after script also I want to give some output, okay. Script run successful, okay. So I am not switching to Windows, so I am not using it. But whenever you want to switch window, if you are writing some script, you can use that, so that corresponding output will be displayed in the console. So I am not accepting the alert, I am not dismissing it, so I am not writing anything. Before clicking on, I want to write something, so element will be clicked, okay. So corresponding event whatever can be triggered. Before finding by, I want to add something, element will be found, okay. Screenshot I am not taking, so I am not writing, okay. Similarly before navigation also I can do, right, argument dot get title or get anything dot get title, I can use it. Argument, sorry, I need to use remove that part. Argument dot get title, I can get the title, right? Similarly for the before navigate forward, if that particular operation will happen in my script, So obviously I can, it will be printed out, right? Similar refresh also, it will be printed out. Similar for the rest of the, okay. And before skipped, if I want to print something, before navigation, and here before script, I will just want to display something before script run. So you can customize your message, right, as and when required. And in case next time also if you want to update it, so you can just simply update here. No need to update in your test case. So once you update in that particular, right, class, whatever you are creating, and how that class is implementing, so once you update here, so your this, what, how many class you are using here, right, using that particular listener class, right, so it will be automatically updated, right. So once that particular listener class creation is successful, which is implementing WebDriver listeners, so WebDriver event listener interface, right. Now what you need to do, I already created the class. So here in that particular class, I need to create an object or instance for that parent class, right? So here that's fine. Let's create an object. Suppose object name is, I can give anything, listener equal to new object, right? That is the syntax for creating an object. So that's case and is successful. Okay. Now with that particular, we need to create another object for that particular event firing WebDriver, right? We need to pass the parameters. I'll create another instance equal to new, and here I will pass the parameter of the driver, right? Instance or object whatever is created for the WebDriver interface. Okay. So here some error message is coming. We need to import that particular, right, event firing WebDriver interface from org.selenium.support.events. Then we need to register into the listener, right? Okay. So registration is done. Then I need to use that particular object or instance whatever is created for the event firing WebDriver interface. Just I will replace everything with driver to browser. So it will work. Now if we run the script, let's see what is happening. Okay. So we need to change to register. Let's run it and let's see what is happening. So it is successful. Okay, no error message gone. Now if you're running it, obviously it will perform the same steps whatever it was previously done. Like it will open the browsers, it will maximize the browser, it will pass the Facebook URL, and then it will navigate to Google. Then again it will navigate back to the Facebook, and it will refresh the page again. After that, it will enter the email and password fields, and it will quit the browser. But now you can see for each and every event, right, whatever we have written in my listener class created, so that particular thing is coming, right. So we can validate that for each and every event it is correctly coming, right. So before navigation, right, if you want to validate here, so before navigation I have written, right, before navigation part, you can see before navigate to, because first time it's opening the Facebook page, after that it's navigating, right. So before navigation is coming, so before navigating to, then navigation successful, right. So navigation is getting successful because it is able to navigate to the Google page, right. Then again it is navigating back to the Facebook page. So again, before navigation is coming, and after that again it is navigation is successful from the Google to Facebook. So it is coming. After that, like Google page URL is title is coming, and then Facebook page, right? URL current URL is coming. So why the Google URL is coming? You can see here we have written something called, we have used, yes, before navigate back, right? So before navigating back it was Google only, and after that it was navigating back to the Facebook, right? That is the reason title is coming as Google, because at that time URL is Google, so it is coming as Google, right? And after navigating it is coming as Facebook, and after navigating, right, navigation successful, so it is coming the title, like title of the Facebook, right? So that's why element will be found, right? So whenever we want to perform some operations here, like want to identify that element name or password, so obviously element will be found, right? And it is also found, so element is found, because two time it is coming. First time we want to identify the email field, and then next password field, right? So here we have written before element found and after element found, right? Okay, so here we have written element will be found, so it is coming for the first one, element will be found and element found, right? Whenever element is found, before find by and after find by, we have written also after find by here. Okay, element will be found, right? So before found by, every time it will be run, so element will be found and element found, so two element you want to found it, so obviously it's working fine, right? So that's why based on your operation whatever you want to perform it, you can change it any time. Okay, suppose now let's change it to different thing, element. So here I did not use anything clicking, right? We are not clicking on anything. Element found, that part if we change it, so element found is successful. Okay, let's change it. Element found is successful in Facebook page. Okay, so after that if you run it again, it will be correctly displayed. Navigation is successful from, say, after navigate to from Facebook to Google. So you can write the correct word, so that from that word itself you can see what of the action has been performed, right? So after skip run successful. Okay, similar way element will be found in Facebook page. Okay, so element will be clicked, so we are not using anymore because we don't want to click anything here. So before navigation, right? before navigation Before navigate to from Facebook to Google page. Okay, now already modified it. Now if you run it again, let's see whether your message is updating correctly or not. So okay, again it will open the Chrome browsers. It will maximize the browsers. It will pass the URL for Facebook. It will navigate back to Google, and again it will navigate forward to Facebook page. After that it will press the hit button, refresh button again. After that it will enter the value in the email and password field, and it will quit the browser, right? So now you can see that whatever we have updated is correctly updated, right? Before navigating is successful from Facebook to Google page, right? So before navigating, right? And navigation is successful from Facebook to Google, so successful, right? So every time it is correctly appearing only. Similarly, before finding the element, you can see element will be found in the Facebook page, element found is successful in the Facebook page, like that. Okay. So whatever operation you are performing, so generic, if you want to give some generic word, so that you can get to know, right, what are the operation you are doing. Though here you are not printing anything, right, but you are using the listener class, right? The listener class here is the WebDriver event listener, right? Okay, so you can't, as you are using Selenium WebDriver so fast, you need to create a Java class you can give any name which should be implement WebDriver event listener, because in the that particular WebDriver event listener interface all the relevant event relevant method will be available, and for each and every method you can provide some correct word for logging and reporting purposes, so that you can get the clear cut report, right? Or maybe in the console you can get the clear message. Then you need to create another class. Okay, after the another class is created, you need to create the object for any browsers. Like first you need to set the properties for that particular browsers, and you need to create an object or instance, just like we have created here, right? First we are setting the properties, then WebDriver equal new program driver, we are maximizing the driver, right? Then we need to create an object or instance for that particular class where it is implementing to the WebDriver event listener, right? Then object is created. Then we are also creating an object or instance for the event firing WebDriver interface again, right? Where we are passing the object or instance of the WebDriver, right? Then we need to register it with the help of the two object, right? After that, with that particular object, whatever is created for the event firing WebDriver, we need to perform all the operation whatever we want to do it, right? We can go to any URL. If any URL we are performing some operation, if the alert is coming, we can accept the alert, we can dispute the alert, we can switch to any window, right? And whatever operation, so based on the operation, I'm sorry, my particular methods, your output will be triggered, right? And you can easily understand what the event is actually doing, right? Your script is doing, and you can get the output accordingly. So for better, for effective logging and reporting in Selenium for each and every event whatever you are performing in the script, so you need to use the WebDriver event listeners in Selenium. Okay, so that's all for today's session. Thank you.